Hey guys, today we got a little bit of a different video today. So I wanted to talk about something that took me a little while to learn, which was the mentality during a race. So in this race, it's a VRS sprint race where I qualified 7th. And I think on lap 2, I made a pretty big mistake and fell down quite a bit. But I was able to stay calm and collected through the race and actually gain back up to where I qualified and finished 7th again. So I wanted to kind of break down this race and what I was thinking throughout. So I hope you enjoy.
Heads up, get ready.
So the start right here was pretty standard. The guys ahead got a little bit of a jump because I was messing with turning my tires off. So I just checked the guy beside me, saw what he was going to do, so I backed off and went into the turn normally after that. And I saw the guy go off to the left, just stayed to the right. So everything's pretty standard and simple right here, nothing crazy. And so I just am focusing on tucking in behind this guy and seeing what we can do. Right here I get a much better exit out of the turn than the guy ahead of me, so I feel like I can catch him and pass him on the straight, which that's what I go for.
Car right. Still there. Still there. Still there. Clear right.
So right here, as soon as I'm clear, I get back online so I can take these turns as fast as possible because I want to build distance between me and the guy behind me so he can't immediately retaliate. So now that I'm not really being pressured at this moment, I'm just focusing on the guys in front of me, trying to hit my marks and avoiding any mistakes. Unfortunately for me, I do make a mistake into this turn. It was unfortunate, but at least I was able to avoid the wall. So we'll take a look at it again from the outside. So it looks like I just had a little too much steering when I hit the curb and I didn't straighten out and put the gas down to plant the car. Which this corner ends up being an issue for me throughout the race, which we'll see. But I kept it cool, just kept the car out of the wall, and I was like, okay, so the cars are fine, so let's just get back on track and see if we can make it back up. After that brutal slowdown, I can see that I'm compromised compared to this McLaren behind me. So I'm not
Hold your line.
giving it away necessarily, but I'm
Still
definitely
there,
not
your
going to
left,
defend
13th
either.
place.
So I say far right, brake just a little bit early to allow this guy to get through. But I don't want to give up pressure either, because the goal is try to get our positions back. At this point I was pretty terrified because I had no idea this dude was going to just reappear. But I just kept my normal line, hoping that if he did reappear, he stayed on a normal line as well and would either be in front of me or maybe behind me. But I don't think he ever ended up coming back, so it worked out for me. That was a free position. So I got through the corner that spun me last time, fine. So at this point I'm not really being pressured, so I'm just working on getting my lap times back down so I can try to start catching these guys ahead of me. I'm pretty confident that I'm faster than at least a few of them, but it's just about making sure that I'm hitting the marks, and that's all I'm focused on right now. So coming up here, I hear an incident, I look, I see he's on the left, I stay as far right, just hoping he doesn't come across the track, which lucky for me he doesn't, and that's another free position.
You're a second off the pace in sector 1. The next car is Rodriguez. Sector 2's a second off the pace.
So times like this is what you really want in your races, because I have no pressure behind, I have a big gap in front, so all I have to focus on is just hitting the apexes, slow in, fast out, being as smooth as possible to bring down lap times.
Our refueling window will open after 17 minutes and closes at about 29 minutes. There's an incident in Aquaminerale. We think it might be yellow flag.
I noticed this guy, he had an incident, but he's been consistently faster than me. So I didn't really want to pressure him too hard, especially into this corner, which I've already spun once this track. So I gave him just a little bit of room and saw what he was going to do before I decided whether I wanted to try to pressure this guy more. And it ended up this guy had his mistake, but was much faster than me, so he slowly pulls away throughout the race.
Incident in Villeneuve, it looks like.
Says.
Watch out, incident in very anti.
Vaya cerdo que eres, colega.
Rodriguez.
So at this point, I noticed that the guy ahead of me is just a little bit faster than me. So I have a couple options. I could either try to push the limits in a few spots and hopefully gain a few tenths. But in the end, I decided to keep the line I had, even though I knew a few of the corners were not optimal, but I was comfortable at this race pace. And at this point, I was purely focused on just minimizing mistakes. I knew that if I just finished the race with little to no mistakes, that I would finish well. And that is all that I focused on at this point. So I had pretty much ignored the guy in front of me, I ignored the guy behind me. If someone came up behind me at this point who was faster, I wouldn't just let them have it, but I wouldn't defend either. I would, if they had a good run out of the turn, I would let them take whatever line they wanted, and I would focus on myself and just getting through this race.
Very anti-alta, looks like it's
Stanisowski.
So at this point, pretty much until I pit again, it is just me completing laps. Nothing really happens, so we're just going to skip ahead at this point. So the guy ahead of us there in the pit lane is the same guy that I had been following most of the race. And when we entered the pits, we were 6th, due partially to some people making mistakes and also due to different pit strategies.
Watch the white line. There's an incident in Tamburello, it looks like.
Stanisowski.
So I noticed when I came out of the pits that these two guys are battling pretty hard, so I just keep an eye on them coming through these turns, which is a good thing I did because I saw them both spin to the right, and all I was hoping was that they didn't bounce off that wall too hard. So at this point, there's 10 minutes left in the race, and I am again pretty much on my own island, the same guy in front of me and no one really behind me. So the rest of this race I'm just maintaining my pace that I'm comfortable with and trying to minimize any mistakes. Also, for the next few laps, nothing really happens, so we're going to skip ahead to where we start coming into contact with some back markers.
Is 0.35 off the pace.
So right here I can see the green car up ahead is the back marker, and the other car is the same guy I've been following. So I'm sure to pay attention to how this guy lets the guy in front of me through. Like that guy just moved over, gave him room. So I don't pressure him through the corner. I give him a little flash of lights just to make sure he knows I'm here. And he pulls off to the side, so I'll go inside. I was pretty confident that he wasn't going to dive down on me because of the way that he got out of the way of the guy in front of me. So be sure you're paying attention to how back markers are behaving around cars in front of you. We're going to go ahead and skip to the white flag. There's nothing really worth noting for the last couple of laps.